Christian parenting.
Welcome to the Bible for Kids podcast with your hosts, best-selling children's author Amy Parker and author and co-creator of VeggieTales, Mike Nawrocki. If instilling biblical values in kids is important to you, this podcast will give you the resources, wisdom, and hope to do just that. Now, let's join our hosts, Amy and Mike, for this week's episode.
Welcome back to the Bible for Kids podcast. I'm Mike Nawrocki.
And I'm Amy Parker. And today we are speaking with Ariel Corrales, Director of Marketing for Yippee TV. We're going to let her tell us all about what Yippee TV is, and I believe she has a free month or so for our listeners. So be sure to hang on for that. But first, we like to start every episode of the Bible for Kids podcast with the Bible verse. Mike?
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Romans 12:2 from the NIV.
The daughter of a produce farmer and an author who always encouraged dreaming big, Ariel Corrales grew up in a well-balanced home full of love, family, and faith. Her appreciation for academia blended with a fascination for the unknown and allowed her to dive in fully to any new endeavor. After graduating from the University of California, Riverside, her blossoming career proved to be multifaceted. Despite her diverse range of experience, she was always drawn to the creative and data-driven world of marketing. Now, as Director of Marketing for Yippee and a mother of two, Ariel encourages faith-filled entertainment for kids in a safe and engaging environment, ensuring that Yippee's content builds character in kids and creates a brighter, bolder future for us all.
Welcome, Ariel. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
So on the Bible for Kids podcast, we like to talk about the Bible for kids, of course. And
Sure.
We were speaking with you a little bit before we went on, and you let us know that you are a mom and you have two kids. So can you tell us about your kids?
Yeah, so I have a 3-year-old boy who is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a 5-month-old little girl. So we just got to introduce a new baby to our family, and it has been so much fun. We really enjoy having her as part of our lives, and my son is the best big brother I could have ever dreamed of. So we're definitely in the newborn land a little bit over here.
Well, and the viewers can't see you, but we're on Zoom and we're looking at you, and you look amazingly rested for a mother of a 3-year-old and 5 months old.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, first of all, 3-year-old boys are not, they don't just sit around watching YouTube.
True. Lots of energy.
Oh my goodness.
I am lucky. I will say that my kids I somehow got blessed with good sleepers. And so my daughter, for the most part, sleeps all through the night, and she did last night. So, She gifted me that today.
What a gift. What a gift. We also have two. They're older now, but they're 3 years apart. But the girl is first and then the boy is second. And I remember our girl, Allie, was just so easy, and so we thought, we've got this parenting thing down, we are such good parents, and we'd look at other parents very judgmentally whose kids were, misbehaving.
Sure.
And then our son came along and taught us a lesson about parenting. It was like off to the races with him. He was completely different. So he's a great kid.
That's why, that's like the gift of parenting, right? It's like you have the second because you think the first, you're like, yeah, we got this. And then it's like, yeah, we could do it. We could do a second. We could do another one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, joke's on you. Every kid is different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so please, Ariel, tell us what Yippee TV actually is, other than a really fun name to say.
It is a fun name to say. Yeah. So Yippee is just like any other streaming service, except we're not just like any other streaming service, but it is a streaming app in the sense that you can find it on your smart TVs, on any app store. And so it's really kind of in this new world of streaming where everybody is really watching TV through streaming services. And so in that way, it's similar, but in other ways, it's different in the fact that we are faith-based. So we do serve the Christian community, and we are really passionate about building character in kids. And we do that in a few different ways, which I'm really excited to talk to you guys about. Another really cool thing about Yippee, which Mike, I think you will enjoy, is that we do have the brand new VeggieTales exclusively, especially for and that has been really fun for us to get to introduce the kind of original values-based, really faith-based episodes of VeggieTales that we all grew up with and know and love, and get to really enjoy that as parents now. And people in the 90s now get to reintroduce that into their families. And that's been really awesome for us. So yeah, we do have VeggieTales exclusively.
Well, and I got to say, while you mentioned that, the team there has just been so tremendous to work with. Phil and I have been doing writing and voices for the new series for, boy, it seems like the last couple of years, and it's so exciting to see them come out. But the whole production team and the whole staff has just been so gracious and just so wonderful to work with. So, so just that's a plug from Larry the Cucumber from Yippee too.
Thanks. Yeah, the team is awesome. They're really fun. And it's really fun to see all the new episodes come together and to get to, watch how they are going through the fruits of the spirit and just the way that the show has really reintroduced this just amazing theme. And, we love all the songs, and I get to watch it over and over again because we're making promos out of it. And so it's really fun to get to kind of see the rough cuts before it all comes together. It's really awesome.
That's awesome. Well, and you launched Yippee in March of 2020. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes. Great time to launch.
Yeah. So it's right before the lockdowns from the pandemic. And how did that change? Did that change the plans about the launch, or how did the pandemic play into all of this?
Yeah, great question. So we technically launched in December with the newest VeggieTales, The Best Christmas Gift, because it was obviously seasonal. And we had plans to, we'll start out with VeggieTales. We can really give the fans what they want for Christmas. And then we'll do like a harder launch in May of 2020, because we had a lot of new original series that we were producing in-house. And so we wanted to make sure we had a lot of great content for kids. And then the shutdown happened in March. We had to halt production on a few of our shows. Luckily, we had filmed most of them already. And so we were like, okay, kids are at home, parents are working from home. Like, we are all parents. We need streaming right now. So in some ways, similar to toilet paper, we really thrived in those first few months. And, in other ways, it definitely changed how we were looking at serving families. It went from being a really fun streaming service, and we were really looking forward to changing the game in this whole YouTube phenomenon. And in other ways, it was like, our world changed. And so we really had to adapt to, it's not just about bringing really great quality content and building character in kids, which is definitely part of it, but it's also a lot more serving parents in this time and trying to find, what do they need right now? What do we need right now? How are we going to come together and really serve our parents? Because, it definitely hit parents really hard for all of us to have to become teachers and become, full-time childcare and become, employees that were not in office anymore, and trying to figure out what that all looked like. And so, we definitely changed a little bit, but I'm happy to say, we had such a good plan of how we wanted to launch and what we wanted that to look like. And so as far as the content go, it didn't change too much. If anything, it just allowed us to add a lot more. So we were able to film remotely with a lot of our, what we call our Yippee stars, which are people that, actors that we had found earlier, and we had them film fun stuff at home that they were doing. And, we all kind of loved watching
they could film inside what you could call a Yippee bubble, which I can't imagine anything more fun than that.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So we got really creative, and we were also were able to really share that with churches as well. So making sure that we were supporting the church too, because that was another, facet that really got hit hard with all of the sudden we were in this whole new type of environment. And so how are we serving churches and families who no longer can go to church? And so we were able to license amazing, amazing online church content from all over the world. And that has been just an awesome asset to our platform.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we'll be right back on the Bible for Kids. My Arms Will Hold You Tight, a whimsical board book from mother-daughter writing duo Crystal Bowman and Terry McKinley, is filled with masterful rhymes and beloved animals, including llamas, elephants, sloths, and fun surprises like bats and flamingos, that brings the tenderness of heartfelt love between baby animals and their parents to life. A perfect gift, this book will appeal to the whole family and is sure to be a favorite book of mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and other caregivers to read to their precious little ones. My Arms Will Hold You Tight is available now wherever books are sold.
From the creators of the 1 Year Daily Acts of Friendship comes 100 Daily Acts of Friendship for Girls. Strong, healthy friendships offer a safe place for girls to be themselves and share their deepest feelings. But how do they build lasting friendships? One of the key ingredients to having good friends is learning to be a good friend. Designed for girls 8 to 12, 100 Daily Acts of Friendship for Girls teaches what God says about friendship and will give them practical, everyday tips for developing lifelong relationships. Each devotion includes a scripture verse, a short story about friendship, questions to ponder, and a daily act of friendship section with ideas for living out what they have learned. Girls will not only learn how to develop godly friendships with others, but will discover how to be friends with Jesus, the friend who will never disappoint and will always stand beside them. 100 Daily Acts of Friendship for Girls is available wherever books are sold.
With the tenderness of a mother speaking directly to her child, best-selling author Karen Kingsbury uses her heartwarming book, Let Me Hold You Longer, to remind us that the years of childhood fly too quickly by us. Most of us faithfully remember and capture our children's firsts. Karen encourages readers to try to recognize and savor the often fleeting lasts, the last days of kindergarten and last at-bats in Little League, amid the whirlwind of life. This poignant reminder has taken on a whole different meaning as families have adapted to quickly changing circumstances in a pandemic, and in some cases, let go of everyday routines while experiencing many unexpected lasts. This book makes a perfect gift for baby showers, new moms, seasoned moms, recent graduates, and anyone else who needs a reminder to savor the last moments of childhood. Let Me Hold You Longer is available wherever books are sold. Welcome back to the Bible for Kids podcast, and Amy and I are speaking with Ariel Corrales.
So Ariel, you mentioned right before the break that Yippee was able to serve churches from basically the beginning when so many of them had to shut their doors. So tell us a little bit more about how Yippee was able to just step in and help them.
Yeah. So churches obviously weren't, operating in person, and some still aren't, depending on where you live. And so we were noticing that there was kind of a miss there of kids weren't able to attend their normal Sunday school classes, and, parents weren't able to, at least, especially for me as a parent, it was like, how do we navigate talking to my 3-year-old, while we're trying to watch our church service? How is he getting his church service? And what does that really look like? And so we started to really talk to churches and just ask them, how can we help you? How can we serve you better? And a lot of churches were able to film content online, but where they would have to put it is YouTube. And that was one of the main reasons we started Yippee, is there's this like YouTube phenomenon that kids are watching YouTube, and, parenting is hard and screen time feels inevitable sometimes. And so, when your kid is just like, I just want to watch this video, you're like, fine, I'll put it on. But then you notice that it's, filled with unboxings or inappropriate messaging or ads or things that just feel like this is not what my kids should be learning. And they're soaking up so much. Yeah, they're soaking up so much in this time. And so, these churches were putting their content on YouTube, but it was like, but then they're being exposed to ads and weird algorithms where like a next video plays and it's inappropriate. And so we came alongside them and said, well, why don't we put it on Yippee? And that way your church can access it. And that way, our audience can see all these amazing things that you guys are doing. And so that's been really crucial for us. A quick story, my own son, recently, we have this amazing church called Kingdom City Kids, and they are in Malaysia. And it's awesome because I would have never heard of them. Obviously, I live in America, so I would have never have heard of them before, but they are doing some amazing things. And they have this adorable song called Born to Be Amazing. And the music video is adorable. All these kids are running around and they're talking about, it's kind of like these amazing affirmations about who God says children are. And so, I'm born to be brave, and I'm born to be strong, and I'm born to be fearless. And I'm born to belong, and all of these things. And so my son started watching it and he thought it was so catchy, and we loved it too. And so now he goes around singing the house, I'm born to be amazing. Aww. And it's just so cute. And so, I mean, just something as simple as that gives you so much hope in a season like this, where that your kids are learning something and they're really developing in a way that brings us joy. And in a way that, that's what I want my kid to learn, is how much God loves him. As much as I want him to dance in the kitchen with me,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so much of the worldview that kids ingest comes through media and entertainment, what they watch. And, when it's nonstop, it can be nonstop for kids. And if they're getting the messages from the world constantly and not that biblical base, then, it affects how they view the world, how they think, how they grow up. So I think that's so important. And reviewers have said that Yippee is the best option available today for kids streaming. And you've touched on this a little bit before, but there's a lot of junk out there for our kids to stream. And again, I just want to maybe reiterate the question: how did that impact the idea for Yippee, and how is Yippee different from other streaming services in that sense?
Yeah, thank you. We have found that a lot of our customers keep writing into us saying that they've deleted all their other streaming apps for their families after joining Yippee, which is just so incredible.
Yeah.
Because when we set out, we really, again, a lot of us on the team are parents ourselves, or we were kids leaders in church. So, kids pastors or kids ministry leaders. And we just saw this need for kids. Again, screen time feels inevitable sometimes, but what kids were watching and what kids wanted to watch didn't feel like it was adding any value to their lives. And so there was 3 areas that we really wanted to be different. And one of that was just being a safer platform. So it's ad-free, it's algorithm-free. Kids aren't going to stumble on anything inappropriate. We wanted to be able to, if I had to step out of the room to go do the dishes or to go jump on a call, I could hand my kid the remote and whatever he put on would feel safe enough to watch. And the second part of that is that all of our content is reviewed and approved by parents. So we have a whole other team of people that we employ from around the nation that watches every single episode just as much as we do, to make sure that it does feel really appropriate and something that our kids would actually love.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part of that is making sure that all of the content on there is character building. So there's no sass, there's no inappropriate messaging. It really feels like something that's teaching them creativity and education and faith, and really making sure that we're building character in our kids.
That's great.
And then the last way we do that is just to make sure that, it's fun, that kids actually want to watch it. We don't want it to be a vegetable that we're forcing our kids to eat, right? We know that the YouTube phenomenon is real because kids love watching themselves. They love watching, what is on YouTube. And so it's how do we bring some of that into Yippee and make sure that what they're seeing is the same style and format that they love to watch, but it's actually teaching them something good. And so we have some YouTubers that we've licensed that we feel safe enough to be on our platform. One like Danny Go, where, he teaches all about emotional intelligence. And so how to be kind and how to share and what does it look like to forgive? And, same with shows like VeggieTales. It was so important to us to have a show like that that's really going back to its original format of being faith-based and really teaching kids the truths of the Bible.
Great.
And I saw that you also serve as a mentor for young women and moms through the Mom Project. So how has that work, and then also being a mom yourself, influenced your work at Yippee? Do you look at that through slightly different eyes now?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, I feel that because I'm a mom, it has made me a better leader, a more compassionate person. I mean, it's changed. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, but becoming a parent just changes your entire life, and the way that you view the world. It really shows all of your flaws and what you need to work on as a human. And it also really is, it's so inspiring to learn from children. And so, yeah, when I joined the team at Yippee, it was right before we launched, and we were really set on all of these original series and shows. And quite honestly, my son is half Filipino. And so he has beautiful brown skin. And the one important thing that I looked for when we were looking at new shows was making sure that he felt represented in that. And so making sure that my kids see themselves on the platform and see ways that that they are represented, and also making sure that, yeah, it's something that my own kid would love. You know, I show a lot of our rough cuts to my son, even though he's 3. Like he is our content reviewer. Like I'm like, do you like this? Like, are you singing along?
He's like a big studio producer now. He sits in his director's chair. You know what, Mom? I think we're gonna need to make some changes.
He totally is. He totally is. So like we sit together. I'm like, hey, do you want to watch this trailer with me? Will you tell me if you think it's good? And he's like, sure, yeah, okay. And so, yeah, he's a big one. And a lot of our kids as well. You know, I love working with other parents on the team because we all get to look at content together and say, okay, yeah, my 10-year-old loved that. And then my 5-year-old really liked this other show. And so we really get to see that full variety there. But yeah, the Mom Project is amazing. I kind of stumbled upon it last year, and being able to be encouragement for moms, especially moms who are working, especially during this time. You know, a woman that I'm mentoring now, you know, also just had a baby recently and couldn't find work. And so because of the pandemic, and it's so hard to get yourself out there now because you're not seeing anybody in person. And so, yeah, it's been so nice to just talk with other moms and say, hey, it's like anything else, right? Anytime you can find connection and community with people to say, hey, you're not alone. We're also feeling this way too. It just brings so much peace of mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm sure that's been a great help to those moms too in a really tough time.
Yeah. And it's been helpful for me too, really, to just say, like, I've had these experiences and this is how, you know, I can help, you know, influence better decisions or help, you know, come alongside you and encourage you in whatever way. It's really fun to be able to meet with moms and say, okay, this is our problem. Let's make a game plan so that we can like together, like make this a better situation. And so that's been really a joy for me.
Yeah.
And I think that leads really nicely into this next question. You're talking mom to mom, but now as moms talking to kids, and dads as well, how can we talk to our children about the importance of what they consume, either, you know, whether it's music, video, social media, and however they consume it? How do you have that conversation with kids?
That's such a great question. You know, I think that it goes back a lot to listening to your body, as like ethereal as that sounds. I think a lot of it is asking them, how does that make you feel after you watch that? You know,
yeah.
Does it make you feel good? Do you feel like a little mindless? You know, obviously it depends on the age range of your child. So for younger ones, I teach my son all the time with everything. You know, when you eat food, how does that make you feel afterwards? Like, well, if you ate too many French fries, maybe you feel a little tired after, or you don't feel as energetic.
Speaking of which, I had to go through a McDonald's drive-through last night, which I don't remember the last time I had to do that. I do not feel good today. I do not feel good.
Yeah. So it's really just asking the question, and it's for us too, right? How does that make us feel after we sit and binge watch TV? Maybe not good. And what I love about Yippee is that we're not asking our kids to sit in front of a TV and just sit there. It's really shows that encourage inspiration and education. You know, one of the shows my son loves is Danny Go, which is this adorable preschool show. And one of the things that he teaches is painting and colors. And after he watched that show, he was like, Mom, I want to paint. And so we did. And it helped me because it encouraged me to be like, oh, yeah, okay, he's interested in this. Now I can go buy paint for him. And we would do that every afternoon for like 3 weeks because kids love to be repeating things. And so, yeah, it's great. And so I think it really is having open and honest conversations about, hey, when you watch this show, I noticed that you are better, a better human, or you're kinder to your siblings, or vice versa, right? When you watch the show, I notice that you get a little bit angry, or your temper kind of acts up. Maybe do you think that's because the show's a little too violent, or maybe do you think, right? And so in the opposite, a lot of the shows that we have, one is called Daily Devo, and it's a 5-minute devotional for kids. And it has been so amazing. It's a new show every weekday, and we get to introduce that into our families. And so what we found is that a lot of our families are using that as their morning routine. They all watch the Daily Devo together, and then they get to have this discussion about it. It's kind of similar to the big Bible book of questions that you guys have. It's like, it's like, here's these big topics, and then let's break it down to make it easier to explain for kids. And so that's just been amazing to see our families get to come together and watch TV together and really make it more about a discussion than it is about just mindless scrolling.
I had an image when you talked about, how you feel and how you act after watching a show. As a kid, I was really, really into Speed Racer, and I would watch Speed Racer and then run outside and get on my big wheel and race around the neighborhood. So it really, it has that immediate effect of, I want to do this. We're going to need to take a short break, and we'll be right back on the Bible for Kids. Kids have a lot of questions about God, faith, and the Bible. Why did Jesus come to earth? Who wrote the Bible? What is faith? If you're looking for a great resource to answer some of kids' toughest questions, check out The Big Book of Bible Questions by best-selling author Amy Parker and apologist Doug Powell. With sound theology in kid-friendly terms, Amy and Doug tackle 60 questions covering the Old and New Testaments. The vibrant, playful pictures bring each answer to life and make this book even more fun for kids to read on their own. Plus, you'll love having this book at your fingertips during your family devotions or for those moments when you might need some help with answering your child's questions. The Big Book of Bible Questions is available now from your favorite bookseller.
One boy plus 2 rehydrated squirrels equals hilarious adventures in the Dead Sea Squirrels books, written by Mike Naraki. 10-year-old Michael Gomez finds 2 petrified squirrels while exploring a cave in Israel and stows them into his backpack, the perfect souvenirs from his trip. Or so he thought. When the squirrels get rehydrated during a rainstorm, Michael comes face to face with the rather chatty couple, Merle and Pearl Squirrel, who witnessed Jesus' teachings 2,000 years ago. Hilarious missteps and misadventures happen throughout the series as Michael and his friends navigate life, while Merle and Pearl offer wisdom along the way in their own squirrel style. The first 6 books in the Dead Sea Squirrels series are available at your favorite bookseller, and be sure to look for the Dead Sea Squirrels 3-book starter pack, which makes a great gift for kids who love to laugh and read at the same time.
Welcome back to the Bible for Kids, and Amy and I are speaking with Ariel Corrales.
So Ariel, tell us, what age is Yippee geared toward, or what ages, I guess, and then tell us also what your kids' favorite shows are. I guess maybe Danny Go, it sounds like. But anyway, just tell us about that. What ages are best for Yippee?
Yeah, so we really gear our content towards kids 2 to 10. And so hopefully it really gets the wide range of kids in your family. But it's really also for the whole family too. I mean, what we found again is our customers, they tell us what Yippee is the best part of it. And so they really watch it all together as a family. My son's favorite shows, yes, he's 3. So obviously a lot of the preschool age shows are his favorite, but he does love Face Your Fears with the Moors, which is this adorable family vlog where they every week try a new fear that they're trying to conquer. And so that's been really fun to see because they get to talk about that as a family, and then they get to go adventure out and do this big, thing that they're afraid of, like the dark or things like that. And then he loves Kingdom City Kids, which is one of our church content that we have. And he loves Daily Devo. That was really fun for Daily Devo. We did a Holy Week special. So the entire week of Holy Week was a new episode, all about just what that all means and what this season means. And it was so amazing for me as a mom to not know fully how to talk to my child about something as heavy as Good Friday.
Yeah.
And how to explain that to them. I got to say, you know what, let's just watch Daily Devo this morning. And it was such a good conversation starter because after we watched it, both my husband and I were able to say, hey, do you know that God loves you so much? And just something as simple as that to really break it down for them. Daily Devo and the writers of that show. And we really get to talk about God's love for, 2 kids and 4 kids. And so it gives parents, again, this like amazing discussion tool for that. So yeah, he loves Daily Devo. Obviously, VeggieTales is one of our favorites. Obviously. And yeah, I mean, we have over 3,000 shows. So honestly, it changes every week what's our favorite because we just are always finding new things. But yeah, we really do enjoy it.
Okay. And you said you have over 3,000 shows,
Yes.
episodes or shows?
Like series. So like even within that,
goodness.
there's a lot of shows
Yeah.
on Yippee, and we're constantly adding, which is really cool. And so, yeah, it's just been such a joy to find new creative ways and to see there's so many people who are creating out there too, kids as well. They're really creating some awesome content. And so for us to be able to find that, I mean, it's the one of the few joys of social media is to be able to see how many people are out there just doing some amazing things in the world and really to get to partner with them in that.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you what your favorite show on Yippee was, but you kind of touched on that already.
Yeah, I would probably say VeggieTales. We have a brand new episode coming out every month, and so that's been really fun. So the next newest episode comes out May 1st. And it's called The Giving Is Day. It's about generosity, and it's definitely one of my favorite ones, especially because Larry, I don't know if you remember this, Mike, but he has a lot of donuts. And
yes, I remember the donuts. Yeah.
Yes. And like there's this scene, I'm trying not to give it too much away, but there is this scene where he is trying to figure out, they're in the play. And so they're trying to figure out he's the king, if he can keep all of his like blobs. I can't remember what they're called. It's not donuts. But anyways, he has this really funny scene where the crowd goes, ah! And it's my favorite. I'll try not to give too much of it away, but May 1st
yeah.
and it's so,
I think we did 26 new episodes.
Yes.
Yeah. So over the course of a couple years. So my recall for specific scenes is a little fuzzy right now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We had one coming out every month last year. And so we already have, almost half of them out on Yippee already. And we have more to come this whole year. It's really fun.
And I just had fun. I was working with Vince and Todd on writing some new bumpers, for the show. Yeah. So I just turned in some scripts from that. So that'll be fun to do those bumpers.
Yeah. Oh man. Vince is one of my favorites. I miss seeing him in the office. I used to bug him all the time. I still do, but just over email.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting about pandemic production is that with animation, by and large, it was able to continue. It's like because of the way the production process is set up in animation, folks can work remotely a little bit easier than they can in live action. Obviously, when you have to have everybody on a set, but you can have animators, by themselves at workstations working on things, and voiceover artists in the booth by themselves recording, and so all of that. So a lot of, by and large, animation really wasn't affected that much.
Yeah, it's so true. That was one of our biggest worries. It was like, wait, what happens to VeggieTales? Is everyone going to be okay? And I mean, there definitely was a very short delay of trying to figure out everyone's Wi-Fi and making
there's an IT issue there.
Totally. So trying to make sure that, because those files are huge. And so really trying to make sure that all of that could still be done remotely. Once we were able to figure that out, it was, it's so true. Animation was kind of a blessing. It's crazy the amount of things that you realize could be done from home after all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you heard it here. Vegetables are immune to COVID-19.
That's right.
Okay. So the daily devotion show for the whole family, I was going to ask you about that specifically. Can you tell us what families can expect when they tune in to the daily devotion show? What is the content of the daily devotion show?
Yes. It's so amazing because we didn't originally dream of this show. We had about 10 original series that we filmed early in 2019. And so when we thought up of the Daily Devo, it was like, let's just see what we can do with this. And again, it kind of goes back to the YouTube phenomenon of kids really love seeing themselves. Like they do kind of love that live action feel. And so we have one host per day. It's a weekday show. So it comes out every day of the week, a new episode. And what they can expect is basically it's quick bites, it's 5 minutes of telling a story. We pick a theme for the week. So this last week was all about creation. And then the hosts kind of tell a story along with kind of like a funny skit. So they'll dress up, they'll have these characters, and then they have a Bible verse. And so we really share with the kids that Bible verse for the week. And we repeat that out to them. And then we have stunts. And so we have just these really fun little moments where, for Easter, we had our stunt girl had to drop eggs from like and every day was like a higher and higher point and see if she could land on the target. We've had her like roll around in paint to see like if she could paint herself as an Easter egg. We really like put her through it just for the sake of entertaining our kids. But yeah, so it's really a quick 5-minute devotional for kids. That's a show. And again, it's a great starting point for conversations for the whole family. A lot of our families say that as it is their morning routine now. So they, during breakfast, watch Daily Devo. And that's kind of how they start their day together, which I think is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Sort of the video version of Our Daily Bread.
Exactly.
Hey, Our Daily Bread has video too.
Oh, so
Yes.
that is the actual video version of Our Daily Bread. It is the video version of Our Daily Bread.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so Ariel, because you and Yippee are so generous, you have a way for our listeners to get a whole month in addition to a 7-day trial for free. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you tell us how?
Yes. So you can go to yippee.tv, and when you go into the subscription page to purchase the Yippee app, you can use the code Bible for a free month in addition to a free 7-day trial. So I would definitely do it before the new VeggieTales comes out. And so you can have the whole month to watch VeggieTales and all the other amazing shows that we have on our platform.
That is awesome. And just to let you know, I do have I've got the Yippee app right here on my too. So
that makes me so happy.
I keep up with it.
So Mike, it's code Bible.
Yeah, Bible, Mike.
Bible.
That's right.
So Ariel, tell our listeners where they can keep up with you and Yippee on socials and online, and where we can find you guys.
So we are just at Yippee TV on social media. Instagram is probably our favorite place to post. We love our community there. And little old me, I mean, probably the same place. I'm always on Yippee's Instagram, like typing in and responding to comments. But yeah, you can keep up with us there, and we're available in any app store to download. So yeah.
And that's Yippee, 2 P's, 2 E's for the spelling challenged like myself.
It is amazing how many people spell Yippee their own ways. But yes, it is Yippee.
Oh, Ariel, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you coming on and speaking with our listeners. And listeners, we're always giving away free stuff on our socials. So go to follow us on Instagram or Facebook at The Bible for Kids, or on our website, thebibleforkids.com. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Bible for Kids podcast with Amy Parker and Mike Naraki. Be sure to connect with The Bible for Kids on Instagram, Facebook, and at thebibleforkids.com. The Bible for Kids podcast is powered by the Christian Parenting Podcast Network. Find out more at christianparenting.org. Our show is also available on waynation.com.
Christian Parenting.